what's up? Husband here. I'm back with a new tutorial for my latest track, Heroic. This is the last one of the three, and we're now gonna look into how I made the drop of Heroic. So, let's go! Right, so this is the project of the drop of Heroic. I'm gonna play it one more time as a whole, so you can get a feel for it. So yeah, it's like the most important thing of this drop is actually, one is the acid sounds and two are the leads. They have like a call and response kind of feel. So I think it would be good to first, let's first look into the kick, because it's really more like a bass driven track, but the kick is really short that way. So I'm gonna look, the first kick is this one. It's like just a kick which is sampled from a sample pack and made it my own. Did some SSL EQing and yeah, to take it to where I wanted it to go. So if you take it off, it's more like, I don't know if it's boomy, but more in the mid range, and I didn't want it there because the bass is coming in there. Let's see, what did I still do in the Pro Q? Took away the lows, add a bit to the where the kick frequency is the strongest. On top of that, I have a top kick, and it's actually a kick that I used first in my collab with ANG and Randstone called Can't Hold Us. And it's just, I love when the kick has like a really nice punch or a tick on top of it. So if you combine the two, you get, and it gives it a real cool like a modern vibe. And I took off the lows, but it already, when I got it in Can't Hold Us, when I sampled from that track again, it already didn't have much lows, but this is just actually more like a precaution to know that there will definitely not be any low end on the kick. Yeah, well, perhaps it's best to just walk through the track from top to bottom. That will be more structured. And here is, I have here some drop claps to give some more dimension to the second part of the drop. Again, your classic EDM stuff, and then some ride. Nothing special there. If you combine those with the kick, you get a nice clean sound. What I have here then is it's like just some simple build snares. I got some percussion effects, which I faded out with a fade to gray. It's a really cool plugin by Ableton, which is basically an effect rack which has like an EQ and a ping pong delay. And when you turn it up, the low frequency will be gone away, and the delay will take over. So it's great for building tension in a track. And that's for the rest. Most of the things I use on the drums are just to manipulate them the way I want them to sound for a particular track. For instance, when you take, it's difficult here because I only took the last one, so let's not worry about it for now. Here I have a lot of dubstep snare. Again, a fade to gray, and I use a tuner to tune the kick. It's also an Ableton plugin. Well, then we have the fill. Yeah, it's just again a sample. I use lots of samples in this track. I'm really a big fan of using samples, but not samples that everybody uses. Just more like, I look a lot into sci-fi samples, because that's really something that I love in music. And here again, I use drum loops, but I combine them. So I feel, so you don't have like the same everyone else out. If you combine the two again. Yeah, actually did just use a loop. My bad. Here, what do we have here? Again, a snare. So that's the boring part out of the way. Oh no, we have one more loop. Yeah, for me personally, a lot of people will love to do percussion stuff. I personally hate it. I love much more to be with melodic elements and with sound designing, and drums are just because you gotta need drums. So yeah, just to get it a little bit more dimension. So if you play drums here. Some interesting point is that I pan a lot of my loops. I cut them up and I pan them so you have like your ears are gonna get triggered, so it's not only just a mono or like a stereo sound, but just also a stereo sound that pans from left to right. Right, to the more interesting stuff. First I did to give some power to the main kick drum was a gritty bass I found in Serum. It's actually this sound as a preset. It's just, yeah, it's from the basic Serum pack, but I didn't want the high frequencies because I wanted to use a different part for that. So I just took like a really small bit, which I loved. And everything you see here like this is just me being lazy and forgetting them taken away. So don't be discouraged by all this weird frequency stuff. It's not doing anything, but I wanted to get the track finished quickly, so that's why they're still there. Well, next is the sub. I don't know if you're gonna hear it because it's really low, but it's just a silent init sound, just a sine wave, where I just as a precaution took everything that I didn't want and just kept the ones I wanted, and I had to duck a little bit here where the kick is hitting. Alright, that's like the layer. If I'm gonna combine it with the kick or with the drums, you get. And the most important part I did with this one is as a trick I learned from David Gravel, is to not put the bass. You can do a lot of side chaining for the bass. I did as well, so as you can see here on the bass group. But I also, just as an extra more groove and bass, to make sure the sub didn't clash with the kick, I took away every time the first few parts of the sub. So the kick is really like on its own on that part. And since the gritty bass has just a small frequency range, I didn't do it there. So then we go to the main drop group. Let's start first with, yeah, maybe I can show you how it sounds like. Just yeah, that's just a call and response, which you're gonna start with the first bass. It's a starter bass. Oh. Yeah, it's actually, I found a pack. It was a trance pack, which got really cool of those old school trance acid sounds, which I tried. And I found some really cool ones, and really the key in those sounds is like the high pass filter. Or just any filter. And it's really important to get like the right filter settings for it. So here in the first part, I just kept it straight. And then it goes up with the filter, so you get more of that old school atmosphere. Let's see, what did I do for effects on it? Pretty much a lot. I found a chain, an acid chain, which is more like, it was based around an amp of the Ableton plugin, but I didn't like that much because it already had like an acid sound, like a distorted sound. So I just used the chorus of it and the EQ. Yeah, to make it a little bit more wider and a little more filthier. I used the Pro L just to kick it up a notch. Oh, where are we going? we're here. And then I use a Simplon. I think that's mostly because I took away the lows in a weird manner, I see. Why did I do that? Ah, that's just for the intro, for the build-up, which I'm not showing right now because it's not anything special. Then some sidechaining, just like regular sidechain to a sidechain channel, which is didn't even let you hear. It's a really short, not too short, but it's a closed hi-hat that I always use for every track. It's just, you can check it here, it's the Vengeance closed hi-hats 2. It's just, I really like how the tail of it goes, like really smooth. So let's move on. Yeah, then I have a utility which is doing nothing because again I was being lazy. And then the last I have a Pro Q which cuts off all the low ends. So next we have another asset which is just another, again, something to give the second part more of an acid feel. And there's also a Spire preset, I think from the same trance pack that I found. And again, I didn't do particularly much with the presets to get it like this, but I'm not gonna show you how I got the preset, because presets, in my opinion, it takes a lot of time to find a really cool preset, and when I found it, I'm not gonna share everything about it. But when I do make something myself, like from scratch, I really love to tell other people about it. Let's see. Here I did use also the chorus effect, didn't use the amp. More like a copy paste from the first one, it's just a different character. When you hear it, oh. Let's see what happened there. Something with the pitch, I believe. Yeah, pitch. So they just really fill up each other really nicely. Then moving on, second bass. I had to bounce it because the project was really hard on the CPU. It's the same. I made like a project in the. I had to do the brass sections and the violins and stuff in a different project. But this is actually also more distorted sound. Yeah, it's actually a sawy bass with a really lot of distortion in Serum. I made that in. Let's see how it sounds together. Let's see, what did I do here? Yeah, just again take the low end away because we already have here the sub bass and the gritty bass, and add some high on it. I really use a lot of high, sometimes a bit too much when I hear back my older tracks, but I really like high frequencies because they really make something stand out. So if we're gonna go and listen to only this part with the drop and the kick. And you can already hear it. I again used my reverb trick that I showed in the last one. It's, let's see, it's E. So again, send the bass line to a channel, send in Ableton. Add an EQ to take off the highs and the lows. Add a reverb, which is pretty long. Put the dry wet all the way up, and then put the sidechain on the sidechain channel. And I didn't even channel it on this one, on a different channel, which probably again I forgot. And then I took away the mid frequencies of the bass reverb and added some stereo in the high frequencies. So then the next one are the leads. They are really simple leads, but I had the most troublesome time with this one it's because I did use a really, in my opinion, really cool delay trick. It's not really a trick, but it was just to give it a more like bouncy feel. But for some reason, it kept phasing on me, and it was really like rebouncing until I got the phase. I got like one part which was good, and then I duplicated it. So this one again is bounced. Is actually just again from the trance pack. I found a preset called, I think it was Love Comes Again or something. It was like a remake they did of Love Comes Again, which was really cool. And then I made it into the melody that fits in here, which turned out to be this one. And then another one that was, and I did on purpose. I used the first one, gave a small reverb tail, and then the second one I didn't. So it gets again the bounce from call and response, which I really loved. So if you combine those, oh. So that's basically the whole part. And in this track it was more of a case of searching for sounds that would fit well together. I like for the leads it was mainly just one lead which did all the trick. But in this one it was more like combining, EQing until everything fitted on each other. So then the next part in the track that I used was, I always let the leads come back. So in the most of the time the 8 and the second 16 bar. So I did some chords here. So again from the last episode, the basic supersaws, and then here I did the top lead again. So again, lots and lots of legato and portamento stuff. And then here I did it again. I did a little different one because I wanted to make it sound like it was going towards the end of the track. And then we have the vocals, which I also made sure they came back in the drop. So again, just cutted it out from the break, and then here I have, what's this? So when you do combine it with the lead, and this is actually just FX vocal thing that gives a lot of high frequency and character to the second part of the job, so it's not 2 times the same thing. Well, then we got some effects. Also, like just for me personally, just like the drop, they have to be there, but most of them are pretty boring. Like, just you can see they're all samples because people are so nice. They make all these great samples, so why not use them? And just a knock, and then here there's also a knock. Which is actually, that one's pretty cool. Let's see. Here I have a crash. A very beautiful crash. There was something left. Ah, here. This is a thing that I made to give, also make it go towards an ending. And it is like. And it's actually the plug I used in the intro drop, which is this one. And I just automated it so it goes from down to up. Like here it starts at, what is it, minus 12 semitones, and it goes up to about 12 semitones. So it keeps going upwards, and I for this one I did a lot of EQing on the mid section of the frequencies, and I boosted again the highs. And did again. Then just because you can't have enough high frequencies, right? And a little bit of reverb, an OTT to just compress the shit out of it, and then a compressor for sidechaining. And then yeah, that's, oh wait, I have one more here. Oh yeah, those are also cool. There was the last one, which is what I said about those sci-fi stuff. There's like, I love these little transitions where you can play with the auto padding, so you have everything and EDM is straight and stereo and booming, and then you have every once in a while something goes from left to right in your ear, which I really love. So you get... So yeah, that's, so, damn, my voice. That's really how I made the drop for Heroic. I hope you really like this series. I'm working on lots of new music right now, and when they will be out, I will do some series for them as well. But for now, take care and see you later.